WALL-E is a bad robot. Welcome back to Director's Choice. Not everything is how it appears on the surface, and in fact, as we've learned through the years, almost nothing is ever how it seems. This transcends to even our most beloved childhood memories. It can be a difficult pill to swallow, and some may even refuse to acknowledge the truth. But the fact of the matter is, some of those idols that we love the most aren't as innocent as they seem on the surface. In many cases, the more innocent and altruistic they seem, the darker the history and truth that lies just under the surface. When we look close, a darker backstory emerges, creating a pattern of sinister behavior and evil intentions that threatens to dismantle the very thing that we loved, or at least the way that we previously understood it. It doesn't change the fact that we love these characters that we love, but it does change our idea of them, and in the process, it changes the understanding of the movies entirely. This seems like an unnecessary burden to carry at first. Undoing the ideas we've built up over the years seems like an unnecessary and painful process just to better understand the complicated nature of something that we loved in the first place. But it's so much more than that. Behind every bad deed is a desperate person, and behind every villain is a greater reason that they became a villain in the first place. For the same reasons that you adored these characters in the first place, that devotion will only get stronger when you understand the desperate means that turn them to the dark side. All characters are flawed. It's what drives the story forward, and to ignore the flaws would be to never truly appreciate what it is that made you fall in love with them in the first place. Only by understanding the truth behind their actions and what it is that makes them the way they are can you really adore them. And sometimes that means digging a little deeper to find the truth. It's not an easy task, but today we're going to look at WALL-E and everything that makes him the flawed little garbage collecting robot that we all know and love so much. But the sad story of the lonely bot will change its meaning. The truth is that WALL-E, the beloved trash compactor, is actually a bad robot. That might be a particularly tough pill for some to swallow. But when you have all the facts and understand the reasons he is the way that he is, there is no denying the fact that you will love him even more with this new information. It's a tough lesson, but here are all the reasons that we know for a fact that WALL-E is actually a bad robot, and we have plenty of proof along the way. In order to show how we know that WALL-E is in fact not as innocent as he seems, we first have to look at the bigger picture of the film. In WALL-E, the sweet little robot is the result of a greater plan at work, and unfortunately, WALL-E is a greater part of an evil master plan. The movie starts with the lonely WALL-E, the last remnants of human civilization, cleaning up the mess that us humans made. After an unsuccessful run on planet Earth, humans have made too much of a mess and are forced to leave the uninhabitable planet behind. To be more specific, the company that runs the world, by and large, builds massive ships to take all humans off the planet after they force the planet to be uninhabitable. The intention is to be off-planet for 5 years, during which time robots like WALL-E are tasked to clean the place. And after 5 years, the humans are going to return to Earth for recolonization. We first meet WALL-E and all of the humans in space 700 years after they made the journey into space. So it's safe to say that things did not go according to plan. This in large part is due to the level of destruction that humans left behind, but on a larger scale, it's due to the will of by and large to keep humans in space as long as possible. While humans are in space, they are completely dependent on the company, and if they were to return to Earth, they would be free to make their own decisions again. It's for this reason that they are forced to stay in space even centuries after they intended to return to the home planet. The evil conspiracy may have been executed by and large, but unfortunately, our favorite garbage robot is not innocent in the plot to keep the humans away from Earth. In the beginning of the film, we find WALL-E alone on the planet. He is the final cog in the machine of sophisticated robots who were put on Earth with the sole purpose of cleaning it for human return. But how did WALL-E manage to keep running when so many other robots failed before him? WALL-E, like all of the other robots on Earth, runs on solar power. So theoretically, if he is still operational, then they should be operational too. And this is where things get interesting. WALL-E is programmed different from the rest of the robots, and that's why he is the last robot left on Earth. This can be seen by his overwhelming compulsion to collect. The reason that a robot sent to Earth to clean the place starts his own collection leads to the downfall of the rest of the robots also tasked with cleaning the planet. WALL-E doesn't collect because he is the last one on Earth. He collects because of the programming installed by and Large. WALL-E systematically and compulsively destroys every other robot one at a time, until he is the only one left. This leaves him with the peace to continue collecting on the terms that he is programmed, but whether he is aware of his actions or not, he leads to the delay in cleaning up planet Earth, making him a bad robot. That is, until the arrival of an unlikely ally. Everything changes when Eve shows up on Earth, but much of her behavior upon arrival and further actions show that WALL-E is in fact a bad robot. When she first shows up and begins her search for plant life, she shoots everything that isn't part of her primary objective. This nearly includes WALL-E, when he pops into our radar due to his own incessant curiosity. After a quick scan, however, she reveals him not to be a threat, or so it seems. The reality is that when she scans him, she is able to determine that he is actually a part of the larger master plan perpetrated by and Large, and to destroy him would undermine the primary objectives. But the evil overlords of and Large didn't take one thing into account. When WALL-E meets Eve, everything in his programming changes, and the two begin their own adventure that will eventually alter the course of humanity. and Large had never thought the malfunctioning trash compacting robot would find the one thing to add to his collection that he would never find during his many years alone on Earth: someone else to love. While he is experiencing love for the first time, it doesn't change his directive right away, and he still follows the compulsion to stick to his original programming. This is why it's so important to look deeper into the character and understand that WALL-E is a bad robot, because understanding everything that he overcomes to save the day carries a significant weight when you look at the transformation he goes through to save all of humanity. WALL-E is torn when he takes the precious plant from Eve that she finds on Earth. Eve was tasked to return to the mothership with the remnants of life she found on Earth. But when it's finally time to reveal what she discovered to the captain of the ship, it's missing, because WALL-E took it from her. Based on WALL-E's directive to delay the process to return to Earth, he takes the plant, so there is no reason to return to Earth, but later presents Eve with the plant to accomplish her mission. It's this change of character that shows WALL-E is a bad robot who, presented with compelling new emotions, changes himself for the greater good. It's for this reason that WALL-E originally tracks Eve through the galaxy and ends up at the mothership containing all humanity. He follows her in constant pursuit of the plant, in hopes that he can delay the process of return to Earth based on his original directive from the evil and Large. By the time Eve manages to get the plant specimen from Earth to the captain of the ship, the full scale of the malevolent plot from and Large is truly revealed. WALL-E has completely transformed into the human-loving robot and savior of the human race. It turns out that WALL-E is not the only one who is programmed with bad intentions, and the entire ship takes charge in an attempt to keep humans from ever reaching Earth. And with newfound goals along the way, WALL-E does everything possible and helps save the day. It is important to look closer at the characters we love. It's important to understand that, while they may be flawed after we take a closer look, they are still the same characters that we loved all along. Often a dark history exists right under the surface of some of the kindest characters in our favorite movies. But that doesn't mean we can't love those characters anymore. In fact, we should have nothing but a greater appreciation for the characters that we have always loved. The truth is that WALL-E wasn't always the kind and gentle robot that we know and love today. There is a time during his journey when WALL-E is actually a bad robot, And while that might be a tough pill to swallow right now, it will only make us love him more when we understand everything that our favorite trash compacting robot has been through. Take a look at this other recent clip by Director's Choice, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified with our latest videos.